If you don't have housing, your individual fabric starts to get frayed until it breaks all apart. Your physical health plummets. It becomes that much harder to hold down a job. It becomes that much harder to go to school. We're seeing affordable housing decreasing because we're actually seeing a more complex business plan being deployed against tenants.
45% of low-income people in this city are paying more than 50% of their income on rent. That's a lot of people.
I had 2 MCI rent increase plus the Rent Guideline Board rent increase. That means my rent increased 3 times within 1 year.
I think there's a wide appreciation in New York of how expensive housing has become, how housing affordability is a central issue for so many people in the city at a variety of income points.
The rent laws are set to expire in less than 30 days. A solution has to come before that date.
The people united will never be defeated! The people united will never be defeated!
We had a march and a vigil for the people who have lost their homes to tell our politicians that we need housing justice today so that everybody can remain in their homes and we can have less displacement and homelessness. Our goal is to pass 9 bills. One of my favorite ones is preferential rent.
If the legal rent is higher than what you're able to get on the market, then you could give a tenant preferential rent. What the law would do that's being negotiated right now is make the preferential rent permanent for the duration of the tenancy. Good cause eviction protection is a way to give more rights to tenants who are unregulated. At the end of the lease, the landlord could say, get out. They don't have to give a reason why. If you're in the apartment and you're following the rules of the lease, you have a right to a lease renewal. So you could stay in the apartment and plan your life. The removal of the geography that already exists in the Emergency Tenant Protection Act would allow local counties to opt in. Rochester is seeing gentrification in certain parts of the city. Tenant groups from other parts of the state who are saying that we should have rent stabilization too. Vacancy decontrol is a loophole within the law that says that once a vacant unit reaches a rent of a threshold, right now it's at $27.75, the unit leaves the system. So basically it is no longer rent stabilized, which means that the landlord could jack up the rent as much as they want. Whenever there's a new tenant that moves in, they could claim a 20% vacancy bonus. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to why it exists to me, which is why tenants are organizing to get rid of it. The way that major capital improvements work is that it's a permanent addition to your rent. So basically, if the landlord replaced the boiler, you as a tenant end up paying a cost of the replacement, but it's permanent. So even after the whole building pays off the boiler, you're kind of stuck with this permanent rent increase. The bill that's currently being debated is getting rid of the system. Similarly to the MCI bill, the II bill also just gets rid of this whole system because, again, it's rife with abuse. Rent control is, within New York City, an older system, primarily older tenants who are on fixed incomes. The bill would basically kind of like take this older system and bring it under the regulatory control. Home stability support is a bill that will streamline the way that rental assistance works in the city and also expand it.
We need those 9 bills passed to protect all tenants in the state of New York.
Our community members are getting together to fight back because they've been through a lot worse in the history of New York City. They know that they can get through this together, but they have to organize.
I am telling you that we can do this. I am telling you that we can deal with MCI. I'm telling you that we can deal with IAI. I'm telling you we can deal with preferential rent. I'm telling you I can deal with vacancy decontrol. You know how I know? Because it's in the air, baby.
We can do